Meeting to order, regular board meeting, 6 PM, October 10th, 2023. Can I get a roll call?
Yes, you can. Mr. Sterling?
Here.
Mr. Thompson?
Here.
Mr. McKnight?
Present.
Mrs. Carlson? Here. Mrs. Meeks here.
Chris Arduino, recording secretary.
Terrell Yarbrough, superintendent.
Shelley Wagner, Human Resources.
Michelle Rick, curriculum and instruction.
Jason Bloom, Communications, Community Relations.
Josh Rand, business and operations.
All right. And at this time, we're going to turn it over to you. Yep.
It's my favorite part. Now, why do we go to why do we give it the put in the middle if we got something to look forward to?
Yeah, the students do pretty good.
All right, hi, I'm Casey Kaczynski. I'm the principal at Windsor Elementary School.
I'm Therese Marinelli, the assistant principal at Windsor.
And we have a great group of students here that were selected by their teachers as they have represented very respectful, responsible, and ready to learn behaviors at Windsor since the beginning of the school year. So I would like them to introduce themselves, and they're gonna tell you which grade they're in.
I am Grady Sheely and I'm in 5th grade. I'm Kane Sharp and I'm 2nd grade. I'm Ashlyn and I'm in 2nd grade. I'm Ella and I'm in 1st grade. I'm Madison and I'm in 1st grade. I'm Mariah Gator and I'm in 1st grade. No, Alexandria. 1st grade.
All right, and we're gonna lead you guys in the Pledge of Allegiance.
So everybody would stand?
Why are we gonna push out?
One,
Oh, wow.
3.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good job, guys. All right, we're gonna get into
You guys can stand in your spots.
You guys did awesome.
We're standing back here.
You guys are doing a great job. And keep up the great work.
Yeah, you can go above my head, it's fine.
All right, here we go. One, two, three.
Don't move,
I'll
guys.
move for a second.
Nobody move.
Oh, no, you're good.
Good, all right, way to go, guys. There you go.
The right internet's getting right.
Here we go. I'm not gonna knock it over 3 times. You're gonna knock it over. Here we go. Thank you. It's a roller coaster simulator now. There we go.
All right. Moving on to,
Actually, it was probably me.
For my clumsiness knows no bounds.
all right, moving on to the approval of the agenda. I want to approve it with changes, strike 11B5 and 16B.
Teams for the approval.
16B will be on the last page. All right. Can I get a motion with those changes?
Motion.
Thompson,
Aye.
McKnight,
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Meeks,
Oh, here. Aye.
Sterling,
Aye,
Sorry.
you're good. Turn it over to Dr. Troy Yarbrough.
All right, our mission statement,
The mission of the Harlan Consolidated School District as a vital part of the community is to help diverse learners realize their limited potential by providing an educational program dedicated to academic excellence and the development of strong character in a safe and respectful learning environment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I need a motion to approve the board meeting minutes, September 25th, 2023, regular and closed minutes, September 25th, 2023, public hearing minutes.
Second.
McKnight,
Aye.
Carlson,
Aye.
Meeks,
Aye.
Sterling,
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Jason Blue.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. It is my privilege and honor to recognize one of our students.
Thank you.
All right. So, actually representing Windsor from last year, I have Miss Aiden Buckman here. She is our elementary artist that has been selected to display her artwork in our gallery, which is in the back hallway behind us here. As many of you are aware, the art teachers at our elementary school select one artist and one piece of art each year to be added to our gallery. And so we're super excited to introduce this piece of art for our gallery this year. The way we do this is that I will get this framed, and then when Aiden graduates, she has the option to come back and take this piece home if she wishes, or she can leave it here. As you can see out there, we have some that are still here and have been here for a long time, and then some that get taken once the student graduates. So I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Mary Peterson, who is the art teacher that Aiden had at Windsor last year. And so she's going to talk a little bit about this piece of art, how it was selected, and then we're not going to hear from Aiden. She chose to not speak tonight, so no, we're good. So.
All right, so this piece of artwork was based off of Van Gogh's Sunflowers. We had studied Van Gogh during the 6th grade. And then we take and we use gel glue and chalk to come up with the design. And so Aiden's was chosen to represent Windsor, and she was one of 5 people that we had displayed at the art museum. And then we took those and we combined them with other elementary buildings within the district, and hers was chosen to represent the elementary students from last year. So she's a great art student. We were very blessed to have her, so
Absolutely.
kudos to her.
Absolutely. So, I mean, Aiden, that's obviously a big accomplishment to be. We know we have over 400 6th graders, or well, not 7th graders in the district, and so for yours to be the single piece of art selected is obviously an amazing accomplishment. And so, do you plan to pursue art in the future? I know I said you were going to talk, but now I'm going to see some questions. Maybe? Are you taking any art classes right now?
I tried, but I didn't get one.
Okay, all right. But you'll get a chance to, I'm sure. So, awesome. Awesome. Well, again, congratulations. We're excited that we get to add this, and I get to look at this every day when I walk past. So, congratulations. So now, if I could have the board come around.
Yeah, we don't want to take off the camera.
Yeah, so I'm having you face this way. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Balance out the.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna get out of the way because there's a few people on the picture. So.
You know I love to put stuff on Facebook. Thank you. Good job, Ian.
I'm sure Ms. Kaczynski's trying to take a lot of credit for this, so. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
I will pick this up after the meeting. So I do have one other recognition this evening for all of you. And so I'm excited to introduce to you, we didn't really practice so, to introduce to 2 individuals that are making a huge impact in our community, both locally at the Harlan School District, but also within our greater community of Winnebago County. And so whenever we get a chance to highlight or share with you some of our community partners we want to take advantage of that. And so with me, I have Julie Bosma, and I have, screwed up, Jessica
You can do it.
Sparrow. I Sparrow.
Hi, Sparrow.
I Sparrow.
They have name
I did
tags.
practice. I thought it started with an L, so I was off there. But yeah. So,
It's okay, Jack.
thank you. You call me Jack, Jeremy, Josh, or not really Josh, but. So these two individuals are with United Way. And so we're here to kind of do a bunch of different things. To highlight one of their initiatives, Dr. Yarbo had a chance to speak at a press event that they hosted as part of their big initiative for community-wide around literacy, but also just to highlight some of the things that they do to support us locally and how they're involved in our schools. And so before I turn it over to them and let them talk a little bit about what they've been doing and what their plans are for the community and their goal for 2034, I also want to be able to, like I said, highlight some of the things. And one of the things that I'm really excited about is kind of the re-happening of our iRead program. And so the iRead program, I've had the opportunity to be a part of that program for many, many years. I believe we started around the 2012 timeframe. It's an opportunity to bring volunteers into our schools to help read with kids, to be mentors. And so we took a little hiatus, and we all know why, over the last few years. But we were super excited to last week introduce and welcome our new volunteers for this year. And we're actually taking on a little bit of a different approach to that program, which we're really excited about. One of the things that I really value about these two individuals specifically is that they really came to us and said, what can we do to support you as a district? And so I met with Erin Anderson, our principal at Parker Center, our former iRead mentor or liaison for the district, and we really had some dialogue about what does this program need to look like and how is this best going to benefit our students. And so we are changing the format a little bit, and our volunteers now are going to really work closely with our teachers, and so really supporting the classroom effort at Parker Center. So we have 19 volunteers ready to go here starting in a few weeks, and so we're really excited to kind of get this program back up and running because it's a great volunteer program, and it's a program that obviously gets adults in front of our kids. It's adults that can build relationships with our kids, but also adults that can support the instruction that's happening specifically at Parker Center. And so they also do some other things. They've secured funds for us and supported our Preschool for All program and our Prevention Initiative programs. And so with that, though, I do want to let them say a few things.
That was great, thanks.
Go ahead, say a few things about what they're doing at the United Way and how. Oh, I got one more thing. So before you do that, so we also, yeah, you can sit down. So, one of the things that we've been doing for years, and I don't know how many years it's been, but for years is that we do have staff that donate money each month or each paycheck actually to the United Way, and so. I think in the 22-23 year, we donated about $11,000 from employee contributions, and so many of our employees do support the work of the United Way through those paycheck donations. So, okay, that's all I got.
And two of your schools, Olson and Ralston, also did Coin Wars, which was great. So the kids actually brought in change, so that was great, and they won a pizza party. So yeah, so the reason we're getting into this is, no surprise to all of you, we've got a crisis of literacy, obviously, in Winnebago County. And we know that if we can help the birth to 5, if we can get them to your school prepared to read, ready to read, having some basic skills and knowing their alphabet and their right hand from their left hand and their numbers and so on, you guys will take them all the way to graduation. So that's what we want to do. We just want to come alongside of you. We think you guys are great partners. We work with a lot of school districts and we love Harlem. So we just appreciate it. We appreciate that you let us partner with you, that you are open with us, that you talk with us, that your teachers help us. It just truly is a partnership because this is all about community and that's what we're here to do. So we just thank you for all what you're doing, all of your schools, all of your teachers, a lot of heavy lifting, and without you, obviously where would we be? So if there's anything more we can do, we are open, and we, obviously keep in touch with Jason and we talk to him all the time, and we're just getting started. This is just the beginning. We just left a meeting talking about how can we get more story times for littles, how can we get more adults invested in working with our kids before that age of 5. So we're trying to do everything we can to help what you guys are doing and to lift up our whole community with you. So we just appreciate what you do, and I'll let Jessica talk more.
And we are so excited to be working with the kindergartners at Parker because as we found through all of our research, kindergarten success is a really great predictor of third grade reading success. So to have volunteers in working one-on-one with our kindergartners is just going to be amazing. And I was charged with finding these volunteers, and in my last position, I did fundraising, where people go, and when I called these past iRead volunteers, they were just ecstatic. They're like, oh, of course I'll do it. I can't wait to get back in the classroom and see these kids. And then we have a new group of people too who just, we reached out to, they saw it on our We Volunteer site. And it's just the enthusiasm is amazing. And if the kids pick up even a quarter of the enthusiasm of these adults who are going to come into the classroom every week, I think it's going to be awesome. And like Jason said, we're going to kind of start at Parker with this new model, and hopefully next year we'll just have so many people excited that expand it. So another fun thing that we did at Parker, right now I'm the Director of Community Impact. 2 weeks ago I was a volunteer manager, and so working with our companies who want to kind of get their hands in what we do. So I brought a group from M3 Insurance over to Parker Center, and we repainted all of the fun little things that they have out there. And they were just, even though they weren't with the kids, they were so excited to kind of have a hand in it. Like, this is just really neat that these kids are going to come out and see this, brightened up area. So we look to connect more partners like that with our partners.
Well, just a couple more things. Our whole program is 32 right now agencies and collaborative partners that we're working with. So we're not in this together by ourselves. We know that it takes a community. And our bold goal right now in Winnebago County, 32% of our third graders are reading at grade level. And we want to see, with the help of the schools and everybody, it get up to 75% by the year of 2034. So that's why we're so excited. I mean, United Way doesn't typically come in and support school districts. We're supporting churches, we're supporting libraries. I mean, anybody who will get in the game with us, we're walking alongside of them. So we're just excited about this. We know we're gonna hit our goal. We know with you guys at the helm, we're gonna get there. So yeah, I needed to say that.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. And I forgot to mention too that Jessica's not only the, what did you say?
Director of Community Impact.
That too, but she is also an iRead volunteer, so
Yes.
it's kind of like a commercial thing.
Very excited about
Also
it.
a
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
there. So obviously a huge thanks to these two, but the United Way as a whole for the commitment to our community and specifically to our home school district. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Well,
to
thank
both
you
of
for what you guys do.
Do we have a link for their stuff for the volunteer on our site?
So not on our site, no, but yeah, we've done that in the past when we've done some different recruitment efforts. But with this first go around, we were only looking to, because we're reshaping this, to do one volunteer per classroom as a rollout. And so we're going to see how this works, because this individual will be supporting the classroom teacher almost as like an aide. And so we're also not sure from here if we're going to go up or down in this model. And so that's why we're kind of starting small. So she had already had enough volunteers secured, and so, but at a certain point, once we kind of figure out how this works, we will.
I'd love to see this on there promoting the collaboration.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
we've got two websites. So we've got wevolunteer.org that she got up and going again, and that's why she was promoted. And then, yeah, and we've also started our whole initiative is called United for Literacy. We've got a new logo and everything. Should have brought you guys t-shirts. But so we have a microsite that just rolled out. We think yesterday it went live. So all of the resources, story times, books, anything we're going to be putting on there. So. If you guys know of anything that's happening, we'll get the information to Jason, we'll share it with you. But again, this is community, so we just want people. And I will tell you, yes, we want money, yes, we want volunteers, but we want you all reading to the children in your lives, right? If you go to a shower, bring them books, don't always bring them diapers, just think about that. If your grandparents, if your uncles, if your aunts, if your parents, if your neighbors, whoever, you interact with a lot of children in your lives, everybody, read. Read to your kids, read to children.
A book instead of a card, at the same
Yes,
price.
you have got to do it, and again, I'm preaching to the choir, but I'll shut up. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, on behalf of the Harlem School District, thank you. We're so appreciative of this partnership. So we got to do a photo now.
All right.
Make sure you get some props too. Yes, I will ask.
Yeah, you guys just get up.
It's the last photo.
Yeah, we should just trade places. Great job.
Should we hold you up?
Next time.
Okay, okay.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
You're the star of the show.
Great seeing you, George. Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Bumble. All right, comments from the community. We have 2 tonight. I will turn it over to Ms. Pamela Harmon.
Thank you all again for allowing me to address you. I'm speaking regarding the tax levy that you're proposing for the fiscal year 2025. Now, most of the pie, approximately 68% of our taxes already go to this district. And you're proposing an increase, from my understanding, to take place. I do intend to follow this closely as it does proceed. Considering how much this district has spent regarding the new CTE building and are constantly looking for more money in all the meetings that I've been attending, online and physically, when the overall population of students have dropped significantly since the COVID shutdown, this isn't going to sit well with the citizens of this community. This is something more for you all to consider, and I do truly ask for you all to go to task as to what more you're asking from the residents in this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hubbard?
I'm speaking on behalf of my husband. He was unable to attend tonight. So anyway, this is what he wanted me to share with the board. To all board members, first of all, thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. Your determination of the Harlem school system tax levy has a big impact to the families and the taxpayers of this district. I urge you to spend time questioning, examining, evaluating the need for these increases. As a member of the Harlem Township Board, I am aware of the process and the impact of the increase of the property tax bill. The Harlem School District is by far the largest component of our tax bills, and you all know that. Sure, justification of the levy increase can be given, and the board works hard to make sure that the money is well spent. But ask yourself, is the majority of the taxpayers in this district seeing the similar percentage of increase of their take-home pay in the income like to the increase that you're asking for? I applaud your investment in the Harlem School District that has made in the vocational education. It is needed to support the growing businesses that need these skill sets. It benefits our community as it supports expanding businesses in our area. Their growth increases the tax base, which increases the funding available to our schools. The school board administration and educators have a vital role in this support. You are working with the industry partners so that there are more opportunities for the students. Great that you hear you will hear that the employees need these students for soft skills. Soft skills are such as showing up on time, being consistent in their attendance. As the husband has spoken, those are lacking big time with the new employees that are coming in from the students. In addition to the technical skills, there is a severe shortage of these soft skills that are with many of the incoming employees. Harlem School can address these in multiple ways in their sphere of influence. 1, restore the merit-based educational advancement and avoid the social promotion. And I think that the United Way, those ladies that were here, getting them to be reading level at 3rd grade, but instead of just keep promoting them. 3rd is eliminate the focus on graduation rates rather than let's look at the merit and progressing in their accomplishment. Because I think it was part of the mission statement was academic excellence and development of strong character. It would be a shame for the Harlem District to make this a valuable investment in the vocational education and produce adults that have not had the complete skill set to succeed. Businesses will be impacted negatively and opportunities will be lost. Regards, Paul Hoffman, Township Trustee. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you both. Moving on to the approval of the bills.
All right, thank you very much. The total payables this period were $571,189.30. Void checks were $6,558.59. There was one payroll this period in the amount of $3,397,037.72. For total expenditures of $3,968,227.02. Split out by fund, the education fund paid $3,458,633.90. The tort fund paid $6.68. The operations and maintenance fund paid $163,153.19. The transportation fund paid $213,953.11. The IMRF Social Security Fund paid $118,720.14. And the Capital Projects Fund paid $13,760 even. Again, for total expenditures of $3,968,227.02. Are there any unanswered bill questions?
Transportation department, is that salaries as well, or is that just buses?
Salaries,
and vehicles
benefits, fuel, when we buy buses, yeah, it's anything down for transportation.
I have one question, and this one's silly, but, so voided checks, I was looking at the voided checks, and we paid a bill that we didn't need to pay, like, how did that slip through?
I can look specifically at that Procom bill and see.
I'm just, you know what I'm saying, I'm just curious, like, is there, obviously there's got to be a policy in place, and luckily we were able to be refunded of that, because I know if I pay ComEd overpay, they don't give it back.
I'll check with accounts payable and send an email out about what happened on that.
Thank you.
7/23.
Stop it.
Any other questions?
You can't stop fee on that check? It wasn't for something?
So whether we voided it in the system or we actually put a stop in the bank, it just depends on the situation.
Because that's curious too.
I'll check. I mean, sometimes we do and sometimes it just depends on the situation.
All right.
That's it for the bills portion through 9D.
Okay.
Do you want to take a roll call on that and then we'll vote on the other one?
Yes. Can I get a motion to approve the bills?
Yeah, motion.
Second.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks, aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Hi.
All right.
Next is 9E, a recommendation to approve tri-conference advance checks in the sum of $300 each for Evelyn Meeks, Megan Hastings, Rebecca Carlson, Chris Arduino, Aaron McKnight. This requires a separate vote per code. Any questions?
Any questions, or did you decide if you are gonna go, if we're not?
Yeah, this year, yes, I am.
Okay, that's good. So we'll leave that on, all right, and then,
I will be going, I do not need a check, I was not on that list, just to clarify where that was.
You're not on the list.
I'm not on this list, which is fine, because
Right.
just making sure that it was referenced, that if you're not on this list, I will be attending, I just won't be
Yeah.
needing
I
a
think you're on the
advance
list because
check.
of last year.
You weren't on the
Okay,
list last year.
perfect, thank you.
I'm assuming that the checks are, we are required to pay back anything that's not used.
Yeah, you'll submit receipts and then a check back.
It's not $300 to do whatever we want.
No,
So you
you
just
get
ask
a,
them to
you get a travel
That's what I just
voucher
do.
that you have to itemize.
I got that part, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like, okay.
Nope. All right, can we get a roll call? A motion to approve?
Motion,
Second.
Mrs. Carlson?
yes.
Mrs. Meeks, aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Hi.
I'm turning it over to Mr. Kurt Thompson.
Oh, yeah, sure. Thanks for the opportunity to go first here. Let's just start off here. We've got a couple things. One, thanks to Windsor for coming in and giving the pledge. It's so exciting every time to come in and do the pledge. It really is the most exciting part. I love you guys, but that is far more exciting. And then Mrs. Buckman for her art. being able to share that with us and add to the hall. It's great to see the skill from our students and being able to share that with our community. And all the work that United Way does. Every time you hear about a project they're involved with, it's great to see some of those results. And if you don't know and you don't contribute to United Way, if you're a remote worker like myself, wherever you put your funds in, they do go to your local source. So at a time where people don't necessarily work in the community, United Way has those things in place, so those funds still get to your local community. So just a little added knowledge if you didn't know that, and another reason to support United Way. Additionally, if you've not done it already, Golden Apple submissions for any of those great teachers, clearly all of them should have one, are due the 12th. So you've got just a couple days to get those in to recognize some great teachers with some great honors that way. I'm sure there are other ones. Hopefully Evelyn will keep me honest on anything that I've missed, as she always does. And then I do have a couple additional items. What everyone's waiting for is, of course, when that next Business Service Committee meeting is. And I can tell you that, Josh is excited. That is going to be November 8th this time around, 2023 at 5:30 this time. So be here for that. It's hard to miss. And I have just one item to bring up for discussion. So as we go through the fall sports time and getting ready to go into winter and sports in general, I wondered why this hadn't been done, and I want to get everyone else's thoughts on this. We do it for so many things, be it employers that you work for, or Golden Apple with honoring, or different presentations that you attend. I wanted to have an opportunity for our parents and our students to submit surveys to their coaches and all the staff that they directly work with at the end of the season. This could be anonymous, because like we all said, sometimes you have good seasons, sometimes you have bad seasons. You buy stuff on Amazon, you see the good, you see the bad. But what you can do by getting this information is making sure that we're aware of it and everyone's aware of it. So if there are issues, great, we can find them or we can resolve them. Additionally, if there are ways that we can then honor these tough positions, it's a great source to really see these things firsthand from the students, the parents that work with these coaches day in and day out. So I'd like to open up to any discussion on that, if they have any thoughts.
You and I have previously discussed this, and I think, I mean, outside of this, everybody, you know, when I was in leadership for a company and they do skip reviews where they'd send somebody else to my store and talk to my employees anonymously about me. I don't know why, we've talked about this. I am all for it. It's just a way for the athlete and the parents to decompress after the season and hopefully improve our coaches' abilities. Because if you don't know what you don't know, and you can't fix it if you don't know it.
Well, I would, just to add to that, I would say not everything that you're going to find out is negative.
Exactly.
There's a lot that we don't know that's positive. So I would double down on saying that I would hope to see the good reviews as well.
But usually what you take out, the top 10% and the bottom 10%, because those are just, and go with the middle 80 is usually the most accurate part.
Correct. Did, when you reached out to Rebecca, what did she?
We didn't talk
Oh, okay.
Well, surprise.
I think it's a good idea.
As we've thought about it, have we done this? I mean, you've been on the board far longer than I have at that point. Have we attempted, have you ever seen this done before?
No.
Not on the scale that you asked, but.
And we can, I'm okay with also, if we kind of, get our toe wet. If there's easier ways, let's look at those opportunities. If it starts with the students, then bringing the parents or vice versa, let's look at some different scenarios to this. But just getting that information out there, I think, is important.
This is something similar to the Harlem survey that they put out to parents and teachers and students, is what you're looking at, kind of answers to just.
I didn't think of it that way, but I mean, something along those lines would work, right? Like, we're gonna redo this, it's anonymous, parents are familiar with that process, so, I mean, and that means there's the tool that we already have potentially to utilize that. But just something that gets that information so that we can shine a light on areas that need improvement, and that we can see where the accolades really need to be done as well. And you've seen how many great coaches we've brought in and students we've brought in for great seasons. What are we missing? What parts of those stories are we not seeing sitting at the board?
So we can give them golden bowling balls and Latin footballs, or?
Sure. This would need to be something to be negotiated as the coaching stipends are part of the CBA, so I believe it's something that we would need to bring up as part of a negotiated item.
Doing a survey, like a post-season survey? Okay.
Especially if it's evaluative in nature.
Pardon?
I said especially if it's evaluative in nature, I think like, that would be my only red flag would be just to consider like,
The coaches would.
it's pretty odd, like who's getting that information and obviously from a supervisor
I could see the thing though,
standpoint,
that let's say, you know, I always go worst case scenario because sometimes it's good to look at it that direction. So if there is an issue, right, and we find it's something that needs to be addressed, then, right, you're gonna go through HR and there's gonna need to be potential action taken. So I can see the concern versus us knowing the problem and not being able to take action, right?
Who would they send it to? It wouldn't be sent to the coaches, right?
No, but because it's about
The coach,
the
yeah,
coach,
certain coach, yeah.
it would have to be approved through Barton.
Okay.
So, we got, like, what, a year and a half? A year and a half, then you guys can talk about it.
Yeah.
Good idea, we'll have to go through it that way.
Sure. I mean, let's make sure it's set, documented, and we're able to get the dust off of it when we can legally take action on it.
Yep.
And that would conclude my report.
Well, thank you, sir. All right, Ms. Evelyn Meeks.
You're going last.
Yes, I am. I'm changing it up.
Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to thank Windsor, I always mess you guys' names up, Kaisa, Casey, and Therese. Yay! So I'm not gonna say your last name, because I'll butcher them. Thank you guys for bringing the students, they did a wonderful job. It's like, Kurt, it's really nice, you know, just to be able to see the students, especially back in person, so thank you so much. I like the artwork. It's a big change, but every time, you know, they put different artwork, it's just nice to see it. It's really nice. Also, I want to say thank you to United Way. They really do a lot for the community, and they go above and beyond helping people. And with the, you know, like just like she had stated about reading, we really do need to work on reading. If we could take time to read our students and just read yourself. Reading is really good. It soothes the soul and it enlightens you to a whole new different world in your imagination and everything. So I really want to say thank you to them for coming out and just speaking about the different things that they do for the community. Okay, I also attended the homecoming festivals. The pep rally was really good. It was nice to see all the people, how they went and changed it around and they mixed everything up so people could stay longer. And they did the announcement of the homecoming court last instead of, like, I think it used to be like towards the middle or the beginning. But it was really nice to see that. I did attend the football game. But my biggest fun event I attended was the girls' flag football game on Saturday. I got to present the girls with Coach Dotson, the senior girls, their flowers and their certificates. So those girls are, if you don't get a chance to see them this year, try to go next year. They are something else. They are tough. They try to say ladies aren't tough. Yes, they are. And it was just good to see them, especially to get that, to have that finally come, to be able to have girls play flag football. Because I know for years, girls have always wanted to play football, but they couldn't. So to be able to play flag and then maybe go on into doing it professionally. And, I wanted to thank Ms. Buckman, is that her name? For the art. That was a beautiful, congratulations on that. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Oh, yes, I can't forget. The equity meeting will not be October 26th. It's changed to
November 2nd?
Yeah, November 2nd, I'm messing, I should have it. At 4:30 at the high school in room 145. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I'm unorganized. Thank you. Mike got me out of sync.
I'm sorry, that's why I'm throwing everybody for a loop today. Aaron McKnight.
I'm gonna echo what going third, you know, artwork, awesome, pledge, awesome. Like, I truly echo it. I'm not, as far as the homecoming festivities, I attended the pep rally. I like the new format of that. I did attend the flag football game. Mike was there, and first of all, I don't understand the rules of it, but according to Nate, I guess the IHSA, if anybody wants to send a letter down there, I believe they're voting on it in November to add that as a sport, an actual IHSA sport. So if anybody wants to send an email down there to offer it, because the more high schools that do it throughout the country, the more colleges will now offer scholarships, so it's another scholarship opportunity. Will there be a professional league? I don't know, but watching the girls play, watching the Heart, and watching them win their first ever game, like I can say I was there and I'm proud to be there. I think it's great. So like I said, if anybody wants to send an email down to IHSA to tell them to make it a sport, let's make it a sport. But yeah, homecoming, it seemed to have gone off without a hitch. The festivities, the game. Yeah, so I also want to give a shout out to the Fans Club. They have been doing a great job at the games this year with specific. Every week they got a item. Last week was the potato. That was awesome. I can't wait to go to Belvedere and get me another one this Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So other than that, like I said, I echo what they say. I love seeing the students in here, and I love how vocal they were, because usually it's like, like, I don't know if that was your coaching or what have you, but I was able to hear all of them, so that was awesome. So thank you. That's it. That's all I got.
Good. That's Rebecca Kraus.
I don't have a whole lot.
They had a game
Personally, I
during
love seeing
homecoming at the home field.
Oh, okay, I went to one.
Pledge of Allegiance, I think that's amazing.
During the
Especially
homecoming
the
week
little
on
ones.
Wednesday, they had.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Like, I didn't
That's
see
okay,
you there.
you weren't fit.
No, I'm done.
No, I find it amazing just to see the little ones. I would love to see like 3 dozen more of them in here. It's fantastic to watch these tiny little people who know our Pledge of Allegiance and are so thrilled to say it and stand in front of people, even with their sexy little hairdos and ties and all of their, just so fun. I just love doing that. There's not a whole lot. I love the artwork. I kept wanting to ask her, is that sparkly finish? And she was so quiet. I didn't know. It's like it's got a glisten to it, and that's kind of a really, really cool picture. I want to mention that the next education meeting is October 24th at 4:30 p.m. and everyone has to have on mismatched socks, just to let Larry know that he was missing tonight. And I just had a little comment. I know last meeting we took out the kitchen project, but we left the $100,000 in the budget. And I was concerned that we should be spending that a little bit more on our special needs kids. We've had a couple emails and I've had a couple people say to me that our special needs kids need a lot more special needs than they're getting. And some of them, they're losing their IEPs because of some of their losses in their employment and such. And the one that really struck me was where these kids can't even get out and play in their little special needs playgrounds because they're full of wood chips instead of mats. And a lot of your new playgrounds with disabled are rubber mats instead of the wood chips piled everywhere. I know if I was in a wheelchair, I'd never get it to go over wood chips. So it would be nice to see the district put a little more effort into our special needs playgrounds and let these kids enjoy the stuff that they've been given extra and have some fun with that. So that's pretty much all I have.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Larry Smith and Megan were absent. You did that part, so I will be reading mine. Well, thank you, everybody, for stopping out. Thank you for the 2 comments from the community. Thank you. Windsor, you guys rock. Your kiddos are amazing. I know some of them, and to see their eyes light up when they see someone that they recognize in the crowd, but then turn around and see someone else, and it was nice, it was good. And to know that they are growing, and you guys are helping foster that is amazing. You guys are doing a great job. Yes, I did go to those games, and No one mentioned the 70-yard punt that girl in flag football did for us.
Yeah,
Wow.
they got a point, they got a point taken back too.
Yeah, it was amazing. She could probably play for the NFL with that. Nobody could even, I mean, it was just amazing. And they got their first victory, and yes, we were there for that. So.
We were there.
But you weren't at the Guilford game this past Saturday.
No, but we saw the first, did they win?
No, Guilford is good.
Yeah, well,
We'll get there.
But we'll get there, because we got some good girls.
we do, and we got good coaching.
Oh, yeah, excellent coach.
What else? Our next regular board meeting will be October 23rd, 2023. Our next policy committee meeting is October 16th, 2023. Will be changed to November 15th, 2023. We have a recommendation to approve second reading of policies from August 14th, 2023. The sign up for tri-conferences, pre-conference work sessions, these are our first come, first serve, so please, we're going, make light of it, not make light of it, make use of it. Kishwaukee Fall Hybrid Dinner, so this is gonna be in person and or on virtual. It'll be October 26th, 2023. I need to take consensus to appoint tri-conference delegate assembly representative who will be taking Ms. Meek's place. Is there somebody who would like to be appointed?
What day of the conference is
That
that?
is Saturday.
Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I have to leave Saturday, unfortunately.
All right.
Yeah, it's like, I think it starts like
It's
9 o'clock.
8:30 or 9 in the morning, and yeah, last time I didn't get out there till like 2 or 3.
Yeah, it depends on what's,
How
many resolutions.
I
it
did
is.
ask, so if there wasn't, would you like to be it?
It?
Yes.
I would have done it, but I couldn't do it because I'm.
No, but so like, I've done it, and it's amazing.
It is.
No.
It is. You get to see people from all over the state.
Oh, no, I get it, but it's a lot of arguing.
It's a lot of arguing. I can't do it because I'm on their committee this year,
But
so I
If you
couldn't.
did, if there isn't a 10-year Megan said that she would do it.
I can give it a shot.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're
so
not
we
selling it
take
very well.
consensus.
Well, no, I'm just not gonna lie to someone.
I'm just not making eye contact with
I
everybody
would have
else.
done it, but I can't do it because I'm on that committee, the resolution committee, so I can't be a delegate and on the committee, so that's why they had to find somebody else.
Either that or Megan said she would do it.
We can give it a shot, see what happens.
Okay.
You'll be good.
All right, can they take a consensus
Yes.
for Miss Rebecca Carlson being our Harlem's
This is
delegate?
just for this year, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just saying, no.
For the next 4 years. It's a lifetime.
Lifetime appointment.
It's Saturday, it's about 8:30, right? And it depends on how many resolutions.
There are only 5.
It's only 5, yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
you're lucky they had. The one I went was the gun issue, and that took,
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it
5
depends
hours.
on how many people are.
And what was there, so many last year too, on top of everything.
yeah, but this is, if this is 5, you'll be out of by 11. All right, we're gonna take
I'm
consensus?
not gonna put that in my notes.
No.
Famous last words.
Okay.
I'm leaving, Mike said it.
Yes.
All right. Can we take consensus for Miss Rebecca Carlson being our delegate?
Yes?
Yes.
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 I'm taking your word, I won't.
No, you'll be,
They don't mind
and you get a chance to
Now
see.
you get the
All right, and everybody has the resolutions in front of you? Or they're attached? All right. Does anyone-
Oh, attached
Oh,
digitally,
resolution.
sorry.
All right, going through this, has everybody went through it? Is there anything, I'm gonna try it different this year, there's only 5. Is there any one that you guys have issue or are going against what the recommendation of ISB?
I personally think that we should be doing background checks on future employees, and it looked like that was one of the ones that they said, don't vote for.
The employment of history review?
Yes, whatever it is,
Okay.
yeah. Employment history or.
So they recommended do not adopt?
They are, yes, they will recommend that do not adopt.
Not right now, that's why they said do not adopt this. It still need further, because the people that presented didn't really present.
I know I get it, but we're just going with what's right here,
Right.
so.
So do you want to take a consensus?
Yes, we're gonna take a consensus on just this one, since, unless, I'm gonna wait for just a moment, you guys go through it and tell me if there's another one you guys wanna go through.
There's a way to go through the face law.
Did you read them all carefully? Because the bus driver thing, to me, looked like nothing had changed. Other than, are they making the licenses easier? Are they making them harder? The wording was so confusing.
They were not, I think they were removing some of the restrictions and liabilities, that's why.
It looked like they were taking out the school liability or the educator liability, the actual person that's training them liability, and not just the district, the way it looked.
It's with the increased liability placed on new driver trainers. Many are hesitant to train candidates who they do not know well or can vouch for personally.
So I know, like, your driver's ed teacher doesn't want to be the one liable if you crash your car. So I think that's what they're saying.
Correct.
I don't know that for us, this makes a huge
No, it
difference.
doesn't, it doesn't make.
Right, no.
Can I go back to the one that Rebecca brought up? So just so you, like, what it's doing is, it's not trying to override face law. It's actually just, the request is that they use the DCFS CANT system as a way to track all of that. And so, not to put Shelley on the spot, but they're trying to alleviate and trying to find a way to, a system to manage face law, from my understanding of that. And so I know that we've got a system in place to do that currently.
It's so overwhelming.
Right. But it, so just, I just want to make sure that we're all clear, but that it's in regards to the recommendation being the DCFS CANT system as the way to be, what to be used versus it being that we're actually doing them or not doing them.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So with that, does that change?
See, I don't know enough about the CANT system. And it's saying that it is an established system, correct?
Yes.
It's the system that
It
we
is
use
an
to check for
established.
sexual predators,
Right.
people who are findings of child abuse, domestic child abuse.
Right. Well, the only one I know, when you brought it up recently, when we said we were talking about this as a employment history, was that this was for even things like the milkman and the basketball.
Sure,
people
that's
that-
face law, yeah,
Okay.
yes. So I think they're trying to find a way to integrate the systems, so there's one system.
So that's kind of what they're going at here, is that they're trying to do an alternate system, or, I'm
I think
My
they're trying
underst-
to simplify it.
Yeah, I think they're trying to simplify it by using a singular system that as people come and go, every employer, we all have to then do the checks and all the way back to, if I worked with kids when I was 15 years old, I'm gonna go back and look at that. So, my interpretation is that they're looking at using this CANT system as a way to try to simplify that, but as the resolution committee finds that they felt that this wasn't the right system, but again, I don't know the CANT system either, so.
I will tell you that it's sometimes very backdated, and it takes weeks, several weeks sometimes to get anything back, so.
So they're not saying that it's not important to do background
Right.
checks. They're just saying that the CANT system isn't
Isn't
the way to go. That's what they're saying.
So when they're saying do not adopt, the way I'm looking at it, they're not actually saying take the system out and just.
No,
They're trying to comply with the law.
Right.
Not do that
They don't want to do that,
specific
obviously,
system.
but, right, okay, so they're just, okay. Well, then I can go with that then.
I agree.
And internally, that's our HR's position?
Yes.
Okay.
So consensus is do not adopt.
Yes.
Okay.
But with that, is there anyone that, any one of these other ones, do you guys have a different opinion on the resolution?
Then what's recommended?
Correct.
Where does the resource officer, does that not come from the officers, like from the Majestic Park or the Harlem Roscoe or whoever?
So some of these, when you're reading these, you're
It's legalese.
well, not just the legalese, but you're reading one district's thing, perspective, which doesn't affect us.
Right.
90% of this doesn't affect us. But what it does is, you look into it and you say, all right, our body will vote on something, that's what we do. We're gonna vote on it, and then we go down to there, and that will push legislation from our body saying, hey, this is the things that we want or are looking to try to do. So that's where this is, like, do we wanna go with it or not?
Yeah, I have no problem with that one, I was just kind of.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
all right, so with that,
This is for.
So which one is this? You want to just?
I'm just gonna say this, so what I'm gonna say.
Are we
for
able
the
to do them collectively, or do we have to do these individually?
Yes, so, well, I was just gonna say the resolutions as found, since none of them, if you guys haven't changed, and then we'll go with how they have.
Their recommendation.
Yeah, with the correct recommendations.
Recommendations, correct.
Yeah.
Is that consensus too?
Consensus?
Yes.
Consensus.
Okay.
All right,
Got it.
roundabout way to do it. I learned, so we'll do it differently. All right, now, going forward, administrative reports. Dr. Bouchard.
Hey, Mike, just out of curiosity, before we move forward, we address, I know Megan's not here, but her request for consensus for referral classifications in the discipline matrix?
She asked if we could move that to the next one so she could bring it up.
Okay.
I'm just abiding by that. You can.
Just following up because it's on the agenda.
Yep,
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
good catch, but yeah, that's the reason why I didn't do it.
All right, thank you. I have two overnight travels. The first one is in December. It's the basketball team going to the State Farm Holiday Classic. We've been going the past several years. They'll be leaving on the 27th and returning on the 30th. And then the second one is the Illinois State University. It is for the Illinois High School Theater Festival. That's sponsored by U of I, Illinois State, and the Illinois Theater Association. And they would be leaving on the 11th and returning on the 13th. Any questions?
I'm just looking at the request for the basketball one.
Mhm.
I have no problem with it, but I'm assuming, it says fee waiver plan basketball activity account, so the basketball has this account set up for, and in that budget, this is one of the things that they're doing, is that correct?
So
I'm
they have an
assuming-
activity account.
Okay.
And so for any, and that is part of the funds.
And that's part of the
will be
budget
used.
for them?
Yes.
Perfect, that's
And
all I got.
That's the same with the art as well, correct?
Correct.
But they have an activity account and it comes out of their activity account.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Josh Green.
All right, thank you very much. My first item tonight is a recommendation to approve a resolution declaring surplus property at Loves Park Elementary, the Harlem Administration Center, and the Harlem Middle School. Any questions on it? I have one facility request tonight, and that is Husky Baseball for their Sunday rentals of the high school for their program. Questions on that? All right, next is a recommendation to approve the estimated annual 2023 tax levy. So at Business Services, we reviewed the packet, and so I was just gonna hit a couple of the highlights, talk a little bit about the recommendation. So we did put page numbers on it now, which is an improvement. So a lot of this document talks about the process and really goes through timelines, but if we could flip to page number 4, it says tax levy. And I handed out some new pages that I'll talk about in a minute, but what's attached is the whole packet. It's attached online.
Yeah, page 4 digitally.
So this just lays out the timeline. On Wednesday, Business Services presented the tax levy. Tonight, the Board of Ed will determine whether it intends to levy more or less than 5% over last year's extension. I'll put this on Wednesday, November 8th at Business Services there, and then request adoption of the final levy at the Monday, November 13th board meeting. So that's the timeline of this. The next few pages are just the cycle and the timelines of the tax cycle. If you flip to page 8, this is the limiting rate calculation from the county. So it shows what we got last year. CPI was over 5%, so we get the lesser of CPI or 5%. So it was over 5%, so that is the threshold. And then it shows the new property at $1,815,000. So business services, we talked about proposing 4.99% on last year's, but also on the new properties. So it came in slightly over 5%. So if you look at the bottom, there's a box there that says maximum levy request within 5%. It says 53.8 million. That's the county's interpretation of that code and the 5%. That's way less, or way more than what we were levying. But further conversation with our council, the 5% really is a hard 5%, and there's two different paths here. If we're under 5%, it needs 20 days and then we can approve it. If it's over 5%, a notice goes in the paper, we have a public hearing before the next meeting. So what I handed out here is, this is updated numbers of it being just strictly 4.99% overall, instead of the 5.22, which is in the packet. Which is $109,000, 109,617 less than what we talked about in business services. A couple other things to note too. In the 2022 extension, it shows a revenue recapture of $409,000. There's nothing in there for this year. We won't know that till the spring, and that is an automated calculation based on some PTEL adjustments that the county has. With the handout, last year's tax rate was $6.72 and some fractional change. This would be a proposed $6.30 and 0.3083. So that's a 41.64 cent drop in the estimated drop in the tax rate, or a 6.2% drop in the tax rate, but a 4.99% in our normal capped funds.
Can you say that was six for this year, be $6?
The rate will go down 6.2% as projected.
Okay.
Now that's based on what the EAV is, and they have a projected EAV in here, but they won't know that until they go through all the appeal process on that.
2022's was 6.7.
6.7247, and that's the last page of that attached document. So the dates here can get a little confusing. So this is tax levy 2023, which we will receive in FY20. We'll get it in calendar year 24, but it shows as revenue in 25, which is confusing. So it's current year's taxes that we'll get to next school year.
Speaking of confusing, just because some people know PTEL and recapturing funds, you did a great kind of briefing on that at Business Services. Can you just kind of go through like where the responsibility used to be and the changes in law and how that directly works?
Yeah.
So they know it's not funds directly going out or funds that we're liable for?
So if there's a business that appeals their taxes, it goes down to PTAB, and 5 years from now we lose.
PTAB is like a court case essentially.
Yeah, it's like the state's hearing process.
Property Tax Assessment Board?
Yeah, the governor appoints this group, and it takes them many years. So if we win, nothing happens. If we lose, in the past, they would reduce our levy amount by that amount going forward. So now this is a way that it doesn't penalize the organization, because if we had if we hadn't paid it originally, we wouldn't have lost it. So it was like an extra penalty that came many years later, and sometimes it could be sizable. So 2 years ago was the first time that we got that. It was 151,000, I think. Last year was 409. So it swings pretty wildly. We don't request that, it just shows up on the tax levy. So a little bit of how we got to the 5% number, because I know that is a fairly big number. So 2 years ago, or last year, the CPI was 7%, and then this year it's 6.5%. So with this 4.99, let's call it
Probably should explain that, CPI.
the cost of living.
Right.
So because we can't go over the 5%, with this request, that would put us at 9% when the CPI was 13.5%. So it'd be 4.5% less. When we look at the salaries piece, salaries averaged over the last 2 years more than $3 million. Benefits averaged $2.2 million, so that's over $5 million in cost right there. And a lot of those salaries are either minimum wage or teacher minimum wage, competitiveness within the region. So as everyone knows, the cost of doing anything has gone up quite a bit. In addition to that, the ISB's funds, or our evidence-based funding amounts in '23 was up 0.6%, and this year is up 1.2%. Early childhood funds, it's like a 0%. So this is really the only source that has typically kept up with CPI, and even over the last 2 years, it hasn't because of some of those caps. In the budget when we talked about CPPRT went down $3 million this year, and right now interest rates are at a pretty high number, and typically over time those will go back down. And we have looked at things that we can do to manage that tax rate. For example, a few years ago, we had the bond payment go down about $3 million. We also were awarded the property tax relief grant, which we abated almost $9 million. And any day now, we're anticipating to see where we fall on that list. They've opened up the applications for this upcoming year, but there is no list on where we fall. We were at 98 million, they have $49.5 million. So let me take one step back. If the state puts $350 million in the EBF formula, 50 million of that, or 49.5 million, gets set aside for what's called property tax relief grant. They then rank districts based on a bunch of needs or factors, but one of them is tax rate. And so we were at about, I think it was 98 million last year, but when I looked at after they awarded it, we were about 21 million away. So there's other factors that could change, but if they have another 49 million and we qualify, that would be another big abatement for the taxpayers. So I just looked, their ranking sheet isn't up yet, but the application window is open. So we will know that soon. In addition to all those other things, there's lots of projects to work on, from boilers to fire alarms to, you name it.
You said what the boiler was from World War II era?
The chiller is jokingly from, yeah.
My apologies.
So on top of a wide range, I feel like we've done pretty good in trying to update projects, but with 1 million square feet, there's always a ton of stuff to catch up on. So those are just a few of the points as to why we're asking for these funds. And again, tonight's recommendation is really the board determining over or under 5%. And I think with the handout here at the 4.99, that's what I would recommend tonight. What kind of questions are there?
Mine were answered at
Mine
business
were answered at
services.
business services as well. That was a longer meeting.
That is a definite plug to join business services.
Yeah. Evelyn?
Go ahead.
This is just the recommendation?
No, this was just questions.
Yeah, this is the estimated levy, so it'll be on the agenda of business service and the next board meeting.
With that, window just opened, so it's mid-October, it's beginning of October, so end of November, will we know about tax abatement?
I think in the next week or two.
Oh, next week.
I've been checking it every few days, and this is the first time the window's been open. So it said check back in October, and with ISB, who knows what that means.
So we gotta know that before we finalize this levy?
No,
Just.
no, so we'll either qualify and apply, I think it's kind of a no-brainer to apply, right? You apply no matter what.
Absolutely.
So if we are granted those funds, then it's a required minimum 2-year abatement. And so there will be a portion that the district would have to front, which I think was $400,000 each of those 2 years. But the full abatement amount is $5 million. So the taxpayers would save $10 million, we would have to eat roughly $400,000 each of those years.
Which we did in.
Which we did.
21?
Yep.
Yeah, which you
Yes.
see actually dropped their taxes.
So they kind of are similar, but passing in the night. They're not, one's not reliant on the other.
No,
So
I
it's more of
just,
a yes or no versus any changes to the process you're taking. Holding off, I think I'm stopping right over Mike's statement, but there's no reason to hold off to see if we're going to get that.
No, it doesn't.
It would be the following year. It wouldn't be the one that we're levied, correct?
Correct.
Yes. But we do have those, I just want to make sure again, so next year is middle school roof.
Soon, I gotta look at the exact date based on when those bonds, because our debt service extension base was used up, so I'll have to take a look at that. Within the next year roughly, we'll need a bond for the remaining H9 roof and the middle school roof, which is a significant, that probably a 2-year project, that's a huge building.
Correct. I know, we've been talking about it, it's 1 point something.
Well, last time we checked, because we looked a few years ago when inflation was high, and the inflation on roofing was 50% increase on a $3 million project. So we said, you know what, we're gonna hold off a few years on that. And it's holding up, but it is getting to be time soon.
Okay.
And we will have the life safety survey and facility assessment coming to the board here before too long too, so you guys can get a good idea of what all of those projects are. And then, you know, as long as, if we could rank those projects when funds come available, we just start from the top and start working them down.
Do you have an ETA on that report?
I'll get one exactly soon.
I'm just excited to see it, yeah.
Soon.
Business
But,
services.
Of course.
well, services. I mean, we can talk about that, whether that's the full board, you know, how we relay that. But I think that will help give us a fresh new, what do things look like in terms of what are the priorities for projects.
Absolutely.
But Mike, to your point, as long as we have the spreadsheet on where we're at, I think November is easily a time. I believe the deadline's in January, but we definitely want to do that before Christmas break.
No, I get it.
We don't want to risk anything with that project.
We're good, I just getting all the information out that we can. All right.
Okay, I got one more item. My last item is a recommendation to approve hiring tutoring services at Windsor Elementary during school hours, not to exceed 592 hours at $30 an hour, paid with Title I school improvement grant funds. And there's a memo here from Jake Hubert just detailing that, and Casey's here to answer any questions, I think.
Oh, that's awesome. Any questions?
I just want to bring up in business services, we did go over this. This is a use it or it goes away grant. It's time sensitive, and I think it's any time we can get extra help for our students that are struggling is absolutely wonderful.
And this is what the billing identified as going to use these funds for.
Correct, and this is for 2? I know the grant was written for 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Tutors.
I guess it just kind of depends on how many applicants that we get. I mean, I just know it's based on a certain number of hours.
Hours, yeah.
And depending on, I think what we would like to do is, how many hours we can get out of one person or 2 people is just really gonna depend on how many applicants that we get.
All right, thank you.
Does it seem like that's a really high rate per hour for a tutor, or is it something, does a tutor have to have credentials? I mean, do they have to have licensing, do they have to have?
Yes, they have to have.
Most of them are retired teachers, isn't that what we're kind of looking at? The two
If
candidates
anytime
are
we use
retired
grant
teachers.
funds, they have to be a certified teacher.
Yeah, that was our bargain tutoring rate, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's not like we're hiring people off the street to tutor the kids.
No, but, I mean, we are hiring them off the street, it's just they have to have this.
Right, obviously.
That's my oldest. She's 22.
Yeah, that's
Get
a long time. Okay.
But yeah, so like, this is kind of, like goes back to like the Kurt thing, this is already, if we're able to do it, it's based on contract.
Right.
All right,
Any questions?
nope, I'm good.
I'm good.
Casey's ready for 10 more questions.
I'm ready. How soon do you want to start this? All right. Well,
Yes, yesterday? Okay.
We'll try that shortly.
Thank
All right.
you.
Dr. Shelley Wagner.
Good evening. Tonight I have the recommendation to approve the personnel agenda and addendum. We have 5 employments, 5 resignations, 2 transfers, 1 leave of absence, and 3 Federation Bank requests. And that's it for me tonight.
Thank you. Dr. Troy Yoder.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wagner. That was quick.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, I didn't even yawn.
Just real quick, not necessarily an update, but Equity and Social Justice Committee, I just want to invite everyone who would like to attend to attend. They are outstanding. Our equity teams are doing some outstanding work. If you haven't seen our In This Space newsletter yet, I recommend you read that. That's sent to, what is it, all of
staff.
All of staff. Just very equity-based, talks about our equity work. This past Thursday, Casey and Windsor did a really good job of talking about biases and how biases sometimes keep us from reaching our unlimited potential with our kids and things of that nature. So it was really good. And also, the high school did one on belonging, which I thought was really helpful as well in creating spaces for all of our kids to feel welcomed and how to treat each other, and like Mr. Smith always says, how to be nice to each other as well. So not really an update, but just a plug to attend our Equity Social Justice Committee meetings. They're pretty good. There's some people in the audience right now that attend those meetings too, so really appreciate that. All right. Jason, you got anything else?
No, that's good.
Okay. 2 FOIA requests. These are not done yet. They're currently still being collected. So the first one was submitted on September 25th of this year from Illinois CPA Society, requesting the district's 2023 financial statements. We're currently going through our audits right now, so those statements are not ready. Once those statements are ready, we'll adhere to that FOIA. And then the last one was submitted on September 26th from Laura, I'm going to butcher this name, Casada, I think it's more, stop it. On behalf of Reyes Coca-Cola Company, requesting the most recent beverage contract. What they're really looking for is our Pepsi contract, and the amount of that. And so we're not done with that yet. So once we get that, we'll send it in. But you have to say.
Sorry, I'm hungry.
That ends my.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve the personnel agenda and addendum?
Second.
Mrs. Meeks, aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve student travel requests?
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Meeks, aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve facility requests?
Motion. Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Abstain.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks, aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve Equity and Social Justice Committee meeting change from October 26, 2023 to November 2nd, 2023 at 4:30 p.m.? Motion?
Second. Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye. Can I get a motion and a second to approve Policy Committee meeting change from October 16th, 2023 to November 15th, 2023 at 4:30 p.m.?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
We get a motion and a second to approve resolution declaring surplus property.
Motion.
second. Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Now, Josh, does that need to have, say the 4.99?
Yeah, maybe, I mean, as long as we just say what, the number we handed out, because we'll have a final approval, so it's just the estimated, so.
All right. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the estimated annual 2023 tax levy?
Motion.
As handed out.
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson? No. Mrs. Meeks? Aye.
13E, can I get a motion and a second to approve a hiring tutor services at Windsor Elementary during school hours not to exceed 592 hours at $30 an hour, paid with Title I School Improvement Grant?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye.
Are there any announcements and discussion at this time? Can I get a motion and a second to go into closed session, executive session, discuss employment of personnel, 5 ILCS 120-2C1?
Motion.
Mrs.
Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
5 minutes?